Good evening. Good evening. It is now 8:18 p.m. Sunday, September 17th. Um, Radio frequencies and foot soldiers, or rather, I like how gang stalking simulation on YouTube, he called them bots. But I like to also call them hosts because their vessels are basically hosts. Their spiritual energy is basically hosting evil spirits. Because you got to remember, this technology is ushering in spirits that we can't see. This technology is ushering in spirits that we can't hear or see. Even though they have augmented themselves to be able to see digital information or to hear, synthetic telepathy. I don't know if they can hear other things other than synthetic telepathy, but because basically how I'm imagining synthetic telepathy basically is it's like having a okay, so when I was growing up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, right? Every I forgot what times, but throughout the day and evening, um, there was a Muslim mosque that would have like a speakerphone right on the outside of the building, and they would like sing out the prayers, right? And it was loud enough so that everyone in the neighborhood could hear it. So I guess if you were to, let's say if you were like in an apartment building down the block or something, all you had to do is open your window and you could listen to the prayer, and then you can pray, right? You could pray and listen to the prayer because it's loud enough so that you can hear it all the way down the block. What the synthetic telepathy pretty much feel like, because I realize a lot of times, remember, it's radio frequencies. Radio frequencies can pass through objects, pass through walls, windows, even cars. I think it even bounces off of objects too. It's a certain frequency. I haven't figured out what frequency it is, but it's a particular frequency, but it's masked in the midst of static and other frequencies. That's why it's hard for some spectrum analyzers to pick up on it. And that's the thing right there. Because if it really were to be a thing, right? If there were actually really honest, good people in intelligence agencies and the Department of Justice, and they really wanted to look into what Havana syndrome and targeted individuals have been talking about. It's all in frequencies. It's all in frequencies. Ephesians 2, the prince of the power of air, the prince of the power of air. What is in the air? Radio frequencies, right? Radio frequencies. Everything that is being done to create most of the people who are, just about, when you think about it, most violent offenders are probably being influenced by radio frequencies. Most people who are carrying out some of these atrocities that we're seeing on the news or whatever, it's radio frequencies. Why? Because you got to think about it like this. Radio frequencies get absorbed into the brain. You can basically you can write up a code for a specific, let's say, thought or emotion You can write up a bind. I don't know how to do all that stuff. I don't, I'm not a computer tech person. But you can literally code up a specific emotion or a specific thought, or just like in dream simulations, you can code up a specific environment, just like how they do in VR and stuff like that. You can code all this stuff up, transmit it from an antenna or through sensors. It goes from computer binary code to gets converted into radio frequencies, and then it's transmitted out there. If your brain is to be the receiver for that radio frequency, it'll find your specific unique code, right? It'll find your specific unique bio frequency code. Your brain will absorb that radio frequency and then convert it into electrical impulses. Once it's converted into an electrical impulse, now your body is going to resonate and then basically become what you absorb. So if, let's say, and this is it raining? It is raining. Oh, let God cleanse some of the air, cleanse some of the things that's out here. Think about this, right? All of this stuff is basically paganism, right? It's techno-paganism. The term has been coined already. It's techno-paganism, technological paganism. If they wanted to actually force someone to fall in love with you, right? Or rather, if they wanted someone to fall in love with them and they know that they're connected to somebody who can basically generate a code that can force someone to fall in love with them, or just the synthetic version of falling in love. Let's say Jane, right? John likes Jane. John tries to go up to Jane, and Jane doesn't necessarily automatically like John. John doesn't like the fact that Jane doesn't like John. So John happens to be connected to some people who know how to generate and basically cast a spell and generate a code, find Jane's unique biofrequency through his connection to all the sensors of this digital infrastructure. And then John can have this guy create something in a computer form that would make Jane find John appealing to her all of a sudden. Let me tell you, Jane, once that person transmit that impulse into Jane would then, she already knew she didn't necessarily like John to begin with. Now this is very important. This part right here is very important, because this is when people are constantly always reminded about their intuition, because your intuition is always right. The first thing you feel that comes naturally, not that it just popped into your head, but you just originally, that was your original feeling. You came up with that feeling, not that it just popped into your head. You were presented with a stimuli and your first reaction was to say no. That's your intuition. Your intuition told you no. John then comes up against Jane again. Jane, she remembers she already didn't like John, but then for whatever reason, she's like, oh, I don't know. He was just so persistent. And then next thing you know, I don't know. I just started to like John. I don't know. I don't know. Jane was manipulated into liking John. John now is having his desires felt because John is connected to somebody who is able to actually make Jane like him against her own will. People don't even realize how powerful radio frequencies are to the untrained mind. I had to grow in knowledge and understanding and learn about the power of radio frequencies. Not only are they able to make people like someone that they already didn't originally like, they can take someone who is probably peaceful, and they could take someone who was normally peaceful, non-confrontational, not violent, and then make them feel, or basically tune them into a lower vibration to the point where all of a sudden now they feel like they want to lash out or they want to do things to people and whatnot. I'm telling you right now, people need to start realizing your intuition, your instinct, your first response is usually always the right response. Anything else that comes after that, that is manipulation. People need to realize we were born into this world with the light of the likeness of God. We were born to be a representation of God's light and energy. But because we have the fallen ones in this world who had taught mankind all the secrets that are of, the heaven, and they came down here and they fornicated with mankind and, taught mankind about weapons and sorcery, beautification of the islands. I mean, just read the Book of Enoch, or go online and listen to an audio book of the Book of Enoch. All things of this world, and I mean of this world, are of a manipulation. And people have been duped, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and deceived for far too long. That is why many spiritualists are understanding that there is a change, there is a shift coming. And right now it seems like humanity is not strong enough amongst itself because the powers are so strong. So there is a divine intervention coming. There is a divine intervention coming, and I mean, I've been like watching a couple of videos and reading certain things from, some spiritualist people, and I mean, even I'm feeling certain things too, that like there is an energy that is about to come upon the earth, and it's gonna come from some distant part of the universe. Just like all these scientists, they're like, oh, there's these radio frequencies coming from deep within space that's aiming towards Earth. You ain't gotta take my word up for it. You could literally look these things up. They're literally talking about how there are radio frequencies coming from distant places deep within the universe that's aimed at Earth. I'm telling you right now, there is something coming, and it's not going to be something that you can see with the naked eye or possibly even hear. You're probably just going to feel it, and I'm getting chills just talking about it right now. There is an energy that's coming, and it's going to shake the very core of every single human being or humanoid that's on this planet. And I believe that if you are not vibrating at the right frequency, that energy is going to destroy you. Why? Because the Earth has its own frequency. Every planet and star has a frequency, and they're all communicating with each other. The technology that's being used all over the Earth It's making the earth go, what the fuck is this on me? What is this? And the earth has been has been communicating with other planets, and is like, there is something wrong. There's something on me, and there's something wrong, and I can't necessarily shake it. The earth, I believe the earth is calling out for help, and I just got two more waves of energy flows that it feels like I don't know, like I got the goosebumps. The energy I'm feeling right now is insane. It starts from like back here, and then it's just like, it's like an explosion. It goes up the brain, down the spine, along the arms, and then it's shooting all down into my toes. And it feels amazing. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, oh my goodness. Yo, I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you about this. There is an energy that is about to come on the earth, and if you're not vibrating at the right frequency, it is going to destroy you. I don't know if it's going to kill people, or I don't know if it's basically going to just like wake people up. I don't know what it's going to do, but I know some real Christians, and I like to call them real Christians because they understand that the religious aspect of Christianity, that's not necessarily it. That's not necessarily it. Always remember, Jesus Christ said, worship the Father, not me. There's a Christ consciousness that's coming back. A lot of people think like Jesus is like physically coming back. It's a Christ consciousness. It's an awareness. It's like, even though you may not be able to see spirits or see angels, trust me, they are there. They are there. Everyone has guardian angels. If you seek them and you ask for them to step into your life, they will work with you in ways that it won't necessarily be in like they'll just speak to you in your language or something like that. They'll work with you in ways that, I don't know, some things will just naturally come to you. But you have to be willing to open your mouth and ask. Ask and you shall receive. It's not going to be about material things, because remember, God don't care about how much money you have, the car you have, the house, or anything like that. God is going to make sure you have exactly what you need, not what you want. And I think that's the problem, because remember, in this world, we're like, especially through advertisements, we're being conditioned to want so much more. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. And I hope some of y'all actually got to watch the service I went to earlier today. I posted it in the description of my last video. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. Because the more you want, the more likely you are going to be approached and then possibly manipulated into wanting to do things in order to obtain things you don't need. And then every time that there's something that you want, and then somebody knows that you want this thing, they're going to find a way to try to approach you so that you can like obtain this thing. But it ain't going to be in the most honest and I guess legit way or whatever. But anyway, yeah, they mad at me because I've been mentioning secret society in the videos and stuff like that. But I'm like, I could call it a different name. I could call them the occultists. I could call them workers of iniquities. I could call them evildoers. I could call them sorcerers, witches, warlocks. They got a lot of names. But I guess secret society is kind of like it's like a better name. It doesn't have like this, you know, negative connotation. It makes you feel, it makes you feel a particular way. To say secret society, it makes it feel almost like interesting. You gotta remember, God sees everything. God knows your heart. God knows your thoughts. This is why they have the technology to try to basically make them into false gods. This is why Yuval Harari and other transhumanists basically are trying to take the idea of God away so then they can basically become gods here on earth. Do you know how many civilizations have done the same thing and now they are dust? They're either dust or they're underwater. There's nothing new under this sun. Nothing at all. But they want you to believe that they're doing something new. Yeah, okay. Yeah, between them upstairs and then whoever's down the hall, there's all kinds of people that's talking about me right now. But what, they got the window open and they're talking? It's like it almost sounds like they're sitting. It almost sounds like they're sitting right by their window talking about me. Anyway, I have had a number of, you know, threats on my life put out there. Oh, he's not going to be here much longer. Chris, you don't even realize your family don't want you talking about secret society. Nobody trusts you no more. And I'm like, look, I was made to be in the image of God, or to be of a likeness of God, not man. If what I'm saying is offending people, then that makes me wonder, were you of God? Are you of God? Because I mean, we all know that, you know, the Romans basically changed Christianity to include, you know, to make it more inclusive for pagans to be in the church, right? We all know that. That's why a lot of people don't trust churches now, because people have been able to see the paganism in church. They see them. That's why a lot of people don't trust churches now, because they see the pagans working within the church. But then you also got to remember, the church isn't necessarily the building. The church is the people, the body of Christ, the people. That's why it's important that you judge a person based on their character, not what they look like. See, I have thoughts, but I act based on how I would want to be treated. What they're doing is they're basically trying to vilify people based on their thoughts. They take this technology and then they basically broadcast your thoughts to those of the secret, you know, augmented society. And then the worst part is, not every thought that pops into your mind is your thought. They are running programs on you to make thoughts, false implanted thoughts, pop into your mind. So then once it pops into your mind, because remember, every single person is basically like a channel. In their digital world, even though you may not have access to it, in their digital world, your life is like a channel. Your life is like a channel. And they are programming specific trains of thoughts to run through your mind. So then whenever things pop into your mind, there are people watching your thoughts, but they don't know that those thoughts aren't your thoughts. So this is why you have to use discernment, and you have to be so connected to God to realize that you need to regain full strength and control over you and yourself. Now, I've heard the four of them. Remember, I got 4 people that's basically using synthetic telepathy on me. And several times I always hear them say, "That's a spiritual dude. He got mad energy. He got a lot of emotional energy." And then if I'm looking at my girlfriend if I was feeling kind of, drained or low in vibration or something, then I'm looking at her and then I'm like, look at her, she look good. Then all of a sudden, when I start to feel my energy pick up again, they're like, look, he got a lot of sexual energy. They're basically trying to vilify and assassinate everything that is natural, right? And then they're trying to basically make it seem like you are like one of the most corrupted, evil people that's walking this earth. And you got to realize the devil, along with all the other fallen ones, they taught man how to hate each other. They taught man how to deceive one another. This is why they are so strong, because a lot of people have lost their ability to see when the devil is moving about. That's why I talk the way I talk. I speak it out loud, because when you speak it out loud, it shines a light on the devil and every tactic that they're doing. That's why every time I notice something, like if I notice if I notice something, I like to say, "You will not have peace." I've been learning that from the Book of Enoch, because it says that whenever you notice there's an evil spirit in the midst, just say, "You will not have peace." That evil spirit hates the fact that it won't have peace, because that evil spirit cannot rest. The fallen ones can't go to heaven, but they sure ain't trying to go to hell either. That's why they rule the earth, and they rule everything that's of material value that's on this earth. And the best thing they can do is manipulate every single person that was born of the likeness of God. If you can control their spiritual energy, you can control a weapon that can be used against them. Every single person born into this world was born to have a spiritual weapon about them that can be used against the evil spirits or the fallen ones that roam this earth. Keep in mind, man did not originally know anything about weapons, about swords and guns or whatever. These things were ideas that were put into the minds of men by the fallen angels. These ideas were put into the mind of mankind so that they can then create these weapons. They're trying to mess with my mind now. See, I'm already fully aware that not only are there radio frequencies in the air, but through chemical sprayings and probably things that they put in our water supply and in our food, we also have nanotech, these nano robots that basically are receiving and then converting the radio frequencies into electrical impulses. And for me, it feels like they got a lot of it in my brain. So like my brain feels like it's like the sun, and it's absorbing so many radio frequencies. It's absorbing so much energy. But yet I continue to ask God to just give me the strength to keep going. I continue to tell God every day, Lord, keep feeding me, keep feeding me. And just like that, I would feel better. What I did with my finger there, in Qigong, it teaches you, or Reiki, it teaches you that you can use the very energy produced by your own body to draw energy away from you. So think about it like this. My forehead, right? There is an outer layer of like digital information, or like there's like this digital energy or synthetic energy that's on the outer layer of my skin. And your nerves, you have nerves on to at the very, your nerves are basically, you have nerves right at the layer of your skin. That's why when they're doing like fMRIs or EEG scans, they put the sensors directly against the skin. But when you have radio frequencies all around you and electromagnetic radiation all around you, you don't necessarily need you don't need to have sensors put on the skin anymore, especially if you have nanotech inside your body. The nanotech is they are the biosensors. So all they need to do is just transmit energy to your body, and then this biosensors then pick up that energy, and then it basically resonates and create whatever changes, whatever that they're trying to aim for. So when I put my finger, the moment I put my fingers against my forehead, right, I have then created a break. I created a break in the digital information, right? And there is like tension. There's like tension in my fingers. But then as I pull my fingers away from my forehead, right around, you see where the around the first part of the knuckle, like this part here, it's almost as if like I'm pulling something off of my body, and I can feel it pulling. Remember that scene from the first Matrix movie when Neo put his finger in the mirror and then he pulled away, and then the mirror, it felt like the mirror was basically attached to his hand? That's literally what this feels like. It's like pulling. It's like pulling this synthetic energy off of my skin, off of my body. Anyway, yeah, we gotta seek out everything we get. We gotta seek out everything we can learn about our spiritual energies, our chakra centers, because this is what they're taking advantage of. They're taking advantage of the fact that most people don't know these things. They're taking advantage of that. That's how they are winning, because people don't know. If you knew, then you would fight back. You would know how to fight back. But because you don't know, you won't know how to fight back. Now, the thing is, when you do know, trust and believe they are going to increase whatever it is that they're doing. But the best part is, because you're learning about your own spiritual energy, you will then learn how to find ways to actually fight back using your spiritual energy. Because your spiritual energy is a lot more powerful than this technology. Trust me. I am learning how to use my spiritual energy even more. This is why they always seem like they're so amazed, and they say like, yo, he's mad powerful. Yo, he got so much energy. Because you got to remember, the spirit is so much more powerful than you imagine. The body that you're looking at in the mirror, that's just your vessel carrying your energy. That's just your vessel carrying your energy. They're heterodyne. They're trying to send all kinds of frequencies into my mind right now. I don't know what their outcome is, what they're trying to aim for. But you know what? To God be the glory. To God be the glory. As always, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.